everybody. Today we have beautiful gaming laptop, Lenovo Legion Y540 15IRH series. It's an Intel Core i7 9th gen laptop with beautiful graphics, RTX 2060 and beautiful screen, 144 Hz refresh rate. Let's take it apart, let's see what we can fix, replace or upgrade. So start with bottom screws. So now we have to separate the bottom case from the Palmrest. So find a gap where you can place your tool in and then start separate both parts. Once you have the gap, work your way around the edge to separate all the clips. And use only plastic tool, otherwise you can scratch the other parts. Alright, the bottom is off. So look for the part number on those white stickers. And now once you have the bottom off, you can start with disconnecting the battery. Now we can take it out. So if the battery doesn't hold the charge or it's swollen, you can replace it. So that's our battery. Here we have model number for the battery. So now, under that cover or extension bracket, we're gonna have the storage. So that's our storage. If your laptop doesn't boot and tells you there is no boot device or you would like to upgrade storage, this is how you can do it. So take out this one screw, slide out the drive. That's the cooling pad. Here underneath, that's the actual drive. It's a short one, that's why it needs this extension. So that's just the bracket. That's the actual NVMe SSD drive. Oh, sorry guys, that's a SATA NVMe SSD drive. Here under this cover, that's our memory. So if your memory doesn't work or you would like to upgrade to the bigger one, that's how you can do it. So spread those arms and you can pull out the memory. That's the DDR4 memory. Here, that's our Wi-Fi card. So if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can replace this card. Gently disconnect this antenna wires. Now we can take out this screw on the top. And slide out the card. Here, that's our part number, model number. Here, that's our caddy for the 2.5 style hard drive or SSD drive. So you can take out the caddy and mount the drive inside it and use this connector to connect to the motherboard. So to disconnect it, you have to lift this retaining clip. So here, that's where you mount the hard drive or the 2.5-inch laptop style SSD drive. Alright, so now let's take a look at our speakers. Very often, if the sound is bad, you would like to upgrade your speakers or replace them. So take out these two screws. Now we can take out the speaker. Speakers are connected. The cable is routed the same way like the Wi-Fi antenna. So take out the Wi-Fi antenna first. You can disconnect the speaker from the motherboard here. That's our Wi-Fi antenna. So be careful, the speaker cable is routed underneath. Alright, so those are our speakers. And that should be our part number. Now let's take out our heatsink and the fans. So if the heatsink is bent or clogged and the laptop overheats, you would like to replace it, or sometimes you want to add the cooling paste between the heatsink and the processor or the GPU. So that's how you can do it. Unscrew all the screws for the heatsink and for the fan. Disconnect the fan from the motherboard. Sometimes it's easier once the fan is out. So maybe let's first take out the heatsink. Be careful, don't bend it. It may be stuck to the processor or the GPU because of the cooling paste. Let's make sure all the screws are on. Alright, now we can take it out. So that's our heatsink. That's our fan. So that's the first fan. So that's the second fan. So we can replace them if they don't work or they don't spin or they make grinding noise. So now let's continue with taking out our motherboard and the I/O board with our USB port. So if that USB port is damaged, you can replace just this board. So take out these two screws. And that's how we take out the board. The cable is connected under the motherboard, so let's take out the motherboard as well. Now disconnect the keyboard and all the other remaining connectors. I will keep the CMOS battery with the board. I always close those clips, otherwise you can break them later if you leave them open. Oh, there should be one screw here. Now we can take out the motherboard. So here, that's our part number. Here we can disconnect our I/O board. So that's a USB I/O board. And that's our motherboard. That's our processor and the GPU. They both soldered on the motherboard. So if these don't work, you have to replace the motherboard. And check also this part number. That could be the part number for the motherboard. Now let's disconnect our hinges so we can disconnect the screen assembly from the Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly. Now gently unfold the screen assembly, and now let's take out this cover on the back. Alright, so here we should have our part number for that cover. Now there are two more screws for the hinges. By the way, guys, if you need parts, check gatlaptopparts.com. Alright, and that's how we can disconnect our screen assembly. Okay, so that's the Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly. Very often sold like that in one piece. Let's see. Looks like the touchpad is riveted to the Palmrest and you cannot replace it. Same with the keyboard, it's riveted. So if you need to replace one of these parts, look for the whole screen, for the whole Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly. Same with screen, it's very fragile, very thin. So if you try to pull it out, you can break the LCD. So if possible, look for the whole screen assembly on eBay or gatlaptopparts.com. Alright, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.